Mncedi Madolo is a visual artist, skillfully capturing the delicate balance between our historical heritage and the contemporary world that we live in. Drawing inspiration from his rural upbringing as well as his experiences in the bustling city, Madolo's artwork beautifully portrays the contradictions, the tensions that exist within our diverse Rainbow Nation. So he's here bright and early to share a little bit more on his work. Mncedi, good morning. Thank you for your time at this hour.
Good morning, Sis Lizelle, and morning to the viewers at home.
Well, your work influenced by many great people, including your grandfather. Tell us about his influence in your life and how this journey came to unfold for you.
So growing up, you know, during the school holidays, you
Yes.
always go and visit grandma and granddad. So I was exposed to his very tactile way of handling life in general, and he built most of his house.
Wow.
We had a shop at home. He built the counters. He did most of the kitchen, and he was a very handy man. He had this beautiful chest with like so many tools in it. I used to rummage through all of those, you know. Never really understood what most of them did, but I just really kind of liked the fact that they served these purposes that were so mystical, and I kind of picked up from there how to just basically use my hands as well in terms of expressing myself.
Yes, and I mean, they say that when you use your hands, it helps to heal as well. So,
Exactly.
so talk to us about the style, the influence, the healing that happened through that sacred work as you connected, basically.
So this literally starts as a young boy making his own toys, you know. So we used to pick leaves, we used to find rusted nails, we used to dress them up and have them go on adventures and doing all of these sort of things. These are very important building blocks for
Yes.
young children in terms of how to navigate the world, how to problem solving, you know, all of these sort of things. And I really found that very helpful because I'm still able to kind of reminisce on these playful adventures that I had back then.
That's understanding space and you in relation to it and design as well. And so, I mean, so much so plays that in your work now, because then you look at your evolution, the influences over the years, the tensions, the contradictions, the hope as well, and the healing. How did that evolve from those building blocks?
One of the things I kind of found when I finished varsity was that I had a deep interest in history. And so learning about history, I was able to kind of contextualize my environment growing up. And then I was able to bring that into the today world in then the works that I make now. So the industry refers to me as a contemporary artist in that I essentially reflect on what goes on today. But it's not just about the now and the present, but rather how we got here, and then how do we look forward in terms of navigating our lives, socioeconomics, family life, love, politics, and everything in between, you know. So I try to fit all of these things into the canvas, less than the written word, where you kind of have to explain these sort of things. Visual languages kind of develop themselves in a very interesting and different way. They don't have these barriers that some languages. I love how the professor earlier on was kind of, you know, insisting about how we need to learn indigenous languages. So the visual language is a very universal language that really helps people to kind of grasp very delicate ideas in easy ways.
I mean, it is said that a picture encompasses 1,000 words, right? So when we look at that and your rural upbringing versus the big hustle bustle, Joburg city life as well, the conversations that are needed as we take a look back at our history as well, the shoulders we also stand on as we navigate what the future looks like, and the baton is also handed over to us, right?
Yes.
How would you weigh in on that evolution for your understanding through your lens?
So I find it's very important to know our history. It plays a very big role in how you position yourself in the present going forward. One of the things I try to engage a lot is I read up about sociology. There's a French sociologist by the name of Pierre Bourdieu who goes into this idea of what your upbringing kind of does for you when it comes to how you maybe articulate ideas around you, be it life, love, and in even work experiences. So when you look at the history of South Africa, it's very important, for instance, especially as a black person, to kind of know that our history as a country didn't just start with colonial imposition onto our shores, but rather we have a much, much longer history.
Yes.
Where you look at Hlubi histories, you look at Zulu histories, you look at Xhosa, you look at the core in the sand, and you go as far back into BCE, before Common Era, and you're able to really kind of bring yourself into the fore, because then you get stuck in the politics or the politicization of our personal lives when you think maybe the township is where it starts. But that is not really the case, because if you really just try to take the effort and really just make it possible for you to understand how far back our history actually goes.
And I mean, in hindsight, you can always learn from looking back. What message do you then want to carry forward to the future as well? Because that's the gift about understanding where you come from and your agency as well, and restoring those narratives, also dispelling some of those inherited beliefs that don't always serve us going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so one of the things that I really think almost every South African should kind of just take on as a responsibility for themselves is, as a grown-up maybe, how you pass on your understanding of the world to the younger generation. And so I, for myself, think that because these artworks that I produce will live long past my own existence, it is important how I contextualize our existence. There is a level of dignity that needs to go into these pieces. There is a level of, they're just very intricate stories that are not always in the mainstream. And so being able to bring these things into, say, the art world and the cultures that it has in itself, it's very important just to be able to get people to kind of understand where they are in relation to how to move forward. It gives us a lot more excitement about the future. It gives us a lot more of optimism when it comes to how to move forward.
Sure. There's the Fine Arts Appreciation course as well. What's happening on that front, just as we wrap up very quickly?
Mm-hmm. So the Fine Arts Appreciation course is a course that I've kind of put together because I've realized the environment in the art world is not very welcoming. Galleries are very intimidating. It's hard to feel like you're asking the right questions without being made to feel a bit small and these sort of things. So I built this course around this idea of giving people a place to start, a place to understand how to get into the art world, how to read the art, how to decode some of the messages, how to interrogate the artists themselves as they produce the works. And so we put together the course. We're doing it from Arts on Main in Maboneng, and it's actually started off quite well. We have the next session starting on the 14th of March.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, Mncedi, and thank you for your work. I know the conversations continue, but you're adding agency and you're completing the story of the world by asserting our voice. So thank you for your work as well. We're just heading to Mncedisi Madolo's paintings, really to look beyond the aesthetics. You heard how history plays an important role in understanding who we are, where we come from, and of course where to also from here. Also then passing on that knowledge through the Fine Arts Appreciation course that's also happening, the second one now coming on the 14th of March, as he just mentioned.